What's going on, all you wild 1970s enthusiasts? It's your two favorite hosts back here. I'm Logan Valentine, and that's
And I'm your groovy host with the most, Henry Hill.
and tonight we're going to be reviewing one of my favorite directors, Thomas Anderson's brand new film that's had quite the buzz lately, and a lot of people have been talking about this. We're talking about Licorice Pizza.
Licorice Pizza.
Oh, so apparently Licorice Pizza is a hip record store, and I thought this movie was going to have to do with a record store, but it really doesn't. It takes basically the story of these two characters.
So Licorice Pizza sees the debut performance for Cooper Hoffman, Philip Seymour Hoffman's son. I didn't see his real age. I think he's actually a little older than he's playing in the film. He's supposed to be this 15-year-old in high school who sort of, falls in love from a distance to this girl at a school who's part of the yearbook team. They come in and take the pictures of the kids every year. So in the beginning, we see Gary Valentine, Cooper Hoffman's character, meet up with Alana Haim, who plays Alana in this movie. And they strike up a relationship right away. She's an older girl. She's closer to 30. Meanwhile, it's this kid, just hitting the prime years of his life, becoming a man at, 15, 16 years old. And they strike it off. He's instantly attracted to her, and they have this kind of bond just by looking at each other, kind of a deal. So they talk to each other, and Gary ends up asking Alana out to a date, which she laughs about, but you can tell that she felt something by it, and has feelings for Gary, is attracted to him too.
Gary is a busy man. He actor, he's entrepreneur. Eventually throughout the film, he's investing and starting the waterbed business and brings her in. But the really the beginning of the film is the introduction of these two characters, Gary and Alana, and she's like his chaperone because she's like 25 and he's 15. So like she's a chaperone. They go to New York to this TV special, and Gary performs like a straight like 1970s shitty family TV series or movie you would see all over the top. But you see the relationship start to spark. Gary is infatuated with Alana, and being an older woman, very cool, very laid back. She doesn't really have any goals or ambitions in life, and just moving along in life and doing whatever. And Gary's very into a career, being a young kid, very focused on his future, but they really have a good chemistry in this film.
Yeah, Gary and Alana, they're kind of two separate people, where Gary is really ambitious. He's always, looking for the next best thing he can sell. He's got this ambitious mindset. So you see Alana, part of the reason that she's attracted to him is because of that quality. He's always, searching for more, whereas she's sort of stagnant and is okay with that. She says in the beginning, he asks her where she sees herself, in 10 years. And she basically says, yeah, I'll be taking high school photographs here the whole time. Whereas he is, he wants more in life. He wants to go to Hollywood. He wants to be the big seller. He dresses nice. He's just a cool kid. And Cooper Hoffman does a great job in this role. It's really meaningful knowing, obviously we've seen all his dad's work, but seeing him kind of come into his own the first time on screen, and he really does a great job playing this character. Like, to me, he's Gary Valentine. I don't know anything else about Cooper Hoffman, but his performance here was really touching. It was nice. It's a very enjoyable movie, and an enjoyable performance by Cooper Hoffman here. He just kind of exudes that kind of feeling that you had when you were 15, 16, all the future in front of you, the possibilities are endless, and being infatuated and in love with this girl who's older, you get that excitement in Cooper's performance. And that's what mainly makes this film work.
Yeah, this is really like a coming of age, feel good movie, very nostalgic. Stylistically, it's a beautiful shot, film, fashion, costume design and music is what we're going to expect with Paul Thomas Anderson. He always brings, style more than substance at times. And this is definitely an example of that. It's a really great film. It looks beautiful. It has a rawness to it. It feels like a movie made in the 1970s and really taking you back as an audience to that time. and I think they really captured that beautifully. And you know, some of the story gets a little repetitive at times.
The expectations were so high on this. I expected a little more story-wise. It's pretty straightforward, but I get what he's going for here. And what he's intending is to show this, you know, innocence and, you know, love blossoming like a first relationship through the eyes of Gary and his relationship with Alana. There's some great actors that we see pop up through the film and some cameos. We see Sean Penn show up. His role is pretty funny. And Bradley Cooper, he just plays this big douchebag who basically lives up in the Hollywood Hills, and they come across, and you'll see him. He's only in the one scene, but it's pretty memorable. It was funny. But yeah, very basic story, just about the, you know, the love, the chase of love, and Gary being ambitious, and kind of Alana seeing that in him and trying to do more herself throughout the film. Paul Thomas Anderson, he's made some great films. This one isn't one of my favorites, but that's not to say it's not still really good, and you guys should definitely check it out. I love the soundtrack. There's the David Bowie song Life on Mars, where they're running through the streets, and a really memorable scene there, just visually, and hearing it pair up with the music. Paul Thomas Anderson does a great job with that. The costume design, the way it's filmed to look like it was in the 70s. It all looks great. Everybody's wardrobes, the costume's great. The performances are great. These are a couple of young actors and actresses. Nothing that's going to blow you away, but they definitely capture the feeling of being a teenager and, you know, what it must have been like back in the 70s. And it was cool to be in old Gary's shoes for a couple hours there. So you guys should definitely check it out. More style over substance, but the style is so good, it you know, boosts the film for me. With that being said, I am going to give Licorice Pizza a 3 out of 5 Gary Valentine hair pieces.
And going off what you said, love Paul Thomas Anderson, most of his films, but definitely not one of my favorites. This is a movie I'll definitely revisit again. It's a beautifully shot film, great music, great performances in this. Just a lot of great style. That's what, you know, he does as a director. And one of our favorite things about him, you know, he's always making unique films, which I appreciate. In a world of remakes and reboots and everything else, I always appreciate his films. Every time I see his name is attached to a new movie, I'm super excited. I know I'm going to want to check it out right away because it's always going to be something different. And my favorite film of his would definitely be There Will Be Blood. Just a phenomenal movie. Daniel Day-Lewis. And each movie gets different. You know, Inherent Vice is just like an acid trip, and this movie is just like a coming of age, feel a good movie, and something we really need in 2022 with everything going on in the world. And it's good to, you know, relax and watch some good cinema. This is definitely a good flick. But you know, a lot of people really talking this movie up, and I just didn't feel the same as our friends that were, you know, seeing this movie. I didn't love it as much, but it's definitely a good movie. So that being said, I'm going to give Paul Thomas Anderson's Licorice Pizza a 3.5 out of 5 Cooper Hoffman hair pieces.
So what did you guys think of Licorice Pizza? Did you guys like it more than us? Did you have kind of the same feelings? More style than substance, but still just beautiful to look at, and you know, an enjoyable 2 hours, even if you won't necessarily run back to repeat viewing on it. Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to click subscribe.
Also, check out these wild hooligans on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and our website, cinefellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV movie news and reviews.
We had a blast hanging out with Uncle Gary for a few hours in Paul Thomas Anderson's new film, Licorice Pizza, also starring Alana Haim from the band Haim. If you guys are big fans of Haim, you guys will probably enjoy seeing Alana in this performance. She definitely has a unique look, and, you know, I like the relationship between her and Gary. They did a good job in the film. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another one of our movie reviews. We are reviewing a lot this month. There's a lot of movies and TV shows that are going to be coming out that we're going to be reviewing. So stay tuned for some great reviews to come from me and Uncle Logan here. We both enjoyed the film. Not one of our favorites, but we definitely think you guys should check it out. It's a fun film and a great soundtrack. You'll have a nice time watching it. With that being said, these two wild rascals are going to go party back in the 70s. Time to go to the disco. Until the next Cinefellas movie review, I'm Uncle Henry Hill, and that's my good mate, Logan Myers. Cheers!